As a joint specialist, I have spent years observing patients who come to my clinic with sudden joint flare-ups that seem to appear out of nowhere. Yet, what truly shocks me is that in many cases, the trigger isn't a strenuous activity or an accident. It's something as ordinary as the way they sit throughout their day. I've seen seniors and middle-aged adults alike sitting for hours at the dining table, hunched over their desks, or relaxing in front of the television, unknowingly putting their joints at risk. It's alarming to realize how much everyday habits, which feel completely normal, can quietly accelerate joint damage without anyone noticing until the pain becomes unavoidable. What makes this even more concerning is that the damage can happen almost overnight. A single evening spent in the wrong position can intensify inflammation in the knees, hips, and lower back, creating a ripple effect that worsens arthritis over time. Many of my patients are unaware that something as simple as crossing their legs or slouching on the couch can set off a chain reaction of joint stress that leads to stiffness, swelling, and chronic pain. This silent progression often catches people by surprise because it feels so subtle at first. Just a twinge here, a stiffness there, until it grows into a problem that disrupts daily life. Today, I want to bring attention to an issue that is rarely discussed but affects millions: the sitting positions that can dramatically increase arthritis risk. Understanding these positions is not about fear, it's about empowerment. By recognizing the subtle dangers in our daily routines, we can take immediate steps to protect our joints, improve mobility, and prevent long-term suffering. In the countdown I will share, you'll discover 5 common sitting postures, each more harmful than most people realize. You'll be surprised to learn that the position ranked second on the list is one that nearly everyone believes is completely safe. By the end, you'll gain a clear understanding of how your habits may be silently impacting your joints, and how small adjustments can make a profound difference in protecting your health and preserving your independence. Let's begin with the 5th position, one that feels incredibly relaxing but can quietly be damaging: reclined slouching with legs extended. Picture yourself leaning back on a sofa or a soft chair, legs stretched out in front of you, spine curved, shoulders drooping forward. It's a posture many of us adopt after a long day, reaching for comfort and ease. Yet what feels like rest is actually placing hidden stress on your joints. When you slouch this way, the natural curve of your lumbar spine flattens, creating uneven pressure on the discs in your lower back. At the same time, your hips rotate slightly outward, and your knees bear weight in positions they aren't designed to support for extended periods. Over time, these subtle misalignments can accelerate wear and tear, making joints more vulnerable to stiffness and pain. Research confirms the risks of habitual slouching. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Orthopedic Research found that adults who frequently reclined in curved positions experienced increased cartilage degradation in the knees and early signs of osteoarthritis in the hips and lumbar spine. Even without immediate pain, these changes quietly accumulate, making a casual evening on the sofa a potential trigger for long-term joint problems. For many, the consequences go unnoticed until a routine movement, getting out of bed, climbing stairs, or bending to pick up a simple object, becomes painful and stiff. I recall a patient, a 60-year-old retiree, who came to me complaining of morning stiffness that he had assumed was simply part of aging. He spent most evenings reclining with his legs fully extended while watching television, believing he was unwinding safely. Over months, the stiffness worsened, and X-rays revealed early cartilage wear in both his knees and hips. With simple adjustments, he was able to significantly reduce discomfort and prevent further joint deterioration. Correcting this posture doesn't require drastic changes. Adding a lumbar support cushion or pillow behind your lower back can help maintain the natural curve of your spine. Slightly bending the knees rather than stretching them fully relaxes pressure on the hip and knee joints. Being mindful of shoulder position and taking periodic breaks to stand or gently stretch can transform how your body responds to sitting. By making these small, consistent changes, you can protect your joints, preserve mobility, and enjoy relaxation without paying a painful price later. The path to healthier joints often begins with awareness and small intentional steps, showing that even your evenings on the sofa can become an opportunity to support your long-term health. Next on the list is a posture that feels natural and familiar in many homes and offices: sitting cross-legged while leaning forward. Whether at a low table, working on a laptop, or even during casual conversations on the floor, this position may seem harmless, even comfortable. But beneath the surface, it quietly puts multiple joints at risk. When you lean forward while crossing your legs, your spine twists and bends unnaturally. Your knees bear uneven pressure, and your hips are forced into a position they aren't designed to sustain for long periods. Over time, this combination of forces accelerates joint wear, contributing to stiffness, inflammation, and early signs of arthritis in more than one area of the body. Orthopedic research underscores the hidden danger of this posture. A 2020 study in the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine found that adults who regularly sat cross-legged with a forward lean experienced significant cartilage thinning in the knees and increased hip joint stress compared with those who maintained neutral spinal alignment. Even without immediate pain, the body adapts to these forces in ways that silently degrade joint surfaces, leaving many people unaware of the damage until morning stiffness, swelling, or persistent discomfort begins to appear. It's a slow, progressive process, but one that can dramatically impact mobility and quality of life over the years. I recall a patient, a 55-year-old teacher, who had spent decades sitting cross-legged during long lessons and grading sessions. She began to notice subtle knee pain in her early 50s, which she initially dismissed as a normal part of aging. Over time, the discomfort worsened, and imaging revealed thinning cartilage in both knees, a clear sign of early joint degeneration. This was not due to high-impact exercise or injury, but a habitual posture she had practiced for years, one that felt perfectly ordinary. Once we addressed her sitting habits, introduced ergonomic supports, and incorporated gentle hip stretches, she experienced notable relief, improved mobility, and, most importantly, stopped further joint deterioration. Correcting this posture is achievable with simple yet consistent adjustments. Using a chair that allows feet to rest flat on the floor, alternating leg positions throughout the day, and taking short breaks to stand or stretch can dramatically reduce stress on the hips, knees, and lower back. Gentle hip and knee stretches performed daily support circulation and maintain joint flexibility. By recognizing how even seemingly innocent sitting positions can silently undermine joint health, you gain the power to protect your mobility and prevent the slow, invisible progression of arthritis. Small, intentional changes in how you sit can safeguard your joints, allowing you to continue living an active, independent life without compromising comfort or convenience. Now, we move to a position that might seem casual, even comfortable, but carries hidden risks: sitting with one leg tucked under or crossed over while twisting your torso to one side. Many people naturally adopt this posture at a desk during long meetings or while reading at home, believing it helps them balance or relax. Yet this asymmetrical positioning places uneven pressure on the hips, forces the spine into unnatural rotation, and introduces torsion into the knees. Each twist subtly shifts load-bearing patterns in your joints, creating a silent strain that compounds over time. What feels like a brief moment of comfort can gradually become a trigger for pain, stiffness, and accelerated joint wear. Scientific evidence highlights just how damaging this posture can be when maintained habitually. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Orthopedic Science examined adults who regularly sat in twisted positions and found a clear pattern. Unilateral degeneration of the hip or knee joints was significantly higher compared to individuals who maintained neutral alignment. Even in the absence of immediate discomfort, imaging revealed early cartilage thinning, confirming that what seems harmless can quietly compromise joint integrity. These changes are subtle at first, often mistaken for normal aging or occasional soreness, yet they lay the groundwork for chronic problems if left unaddressed. I remember a patient, a 62-year-old accountant, who came to me with persistent hip pain that had gradually worsened over the past few years. His daily habit of sitting with one leg crossed under him while turning to reach files seemed innocent, but over time, it had caused early osteoarthritis in his right hip. Through posture retraining, incorporating neutral sitting, proper foot placement, and gentle rotation breaks every hour, he experienced a noticeable reduction in discomfort and regained much of his mobility. This case illustrates that while the damage may begin silently, targeted, consistent adjustments can slow progression, alleviate pain, and even help restore function. The key to preventing harm in this position is awareness and proactive correction. Neutral sitting, with both feet resting flat on the floor and hips square to the chair, reduces asymmetric loading. Taking short rotation breaks, gently turning your torso from side to side, relieves tension and encourages circulation. Supporting your lower back with a cushion and consciously shifting weight every 20 to 30 minutes can further protect your joints. By recognizing how subtle daily habits affect your body, you gain control over your joint health. Small, intentional changes transform risk into opportunity, allowing you to maintain comfort while safeguarding mobility, independence, and the long-term function of your hips, knees, and spine. Position number 2 is one that almost everyone recognizes because it's so familiar. Slumped desk sitting with the head pushed forward. You've likely seen it in offices, home workstations, or even while watching TV, shoulders rounded, upper back curved, lower back slouched, and neck craned toward the screen. At first glance, it seems comfortable, almost effortless. After a long day, leaning forward like this feels natural. But beneath this ease lies a silent threat. Every hour spent in this posture compresses the spinal discs, strains the hip joints, twists the knees, and sets the stage for inflammation that may quietly accelerate arthritis. It's a posture that appears harmless, yet it quietly erodes joint health over months and years. The biomechanical consequences are more severe than most people realize. When the upper body leans forward, the weight of the head, which can easily reach 10 to 12 pounds, places excessive stress on the cervical spine. The lower back loses its natural curvature, forcing the lumbar discs to bear uneven pressure. Meanwhile, the hips and knees, often slightly bent for long stretches, experience constant compression. The result is not immediate pain, but cumulative damage, micro tears in cartilage, early wear in hip and knee joints, and irritation of the spinal discs. This explains why seniors often report flare-ups of arthritis or chronic stiffness without recalling any injury. The damage has been building silently, hour by hour, day by day, in a position they believed was safe. Scientific studies confirm the dangers of this common posture. Research published in 2021 in the Journal of Geriatric Orthopedics found that seniors who spent more than 6 hours a day seated at a desk, hunched forward, had a significantly higher risk of early joint degeneration in the knees and hips compared to peers who maintained neutral postures. The data also showed that prolonged forward head positions increased cervical disc compression, contributing to neck and upper back pain that often persists for years. These statistics are a wake-up call. What most seniors assume is a harmless way to work or relax can, in fact, trigger the very joint problems they hope to avoid. I think of one patient, a 58-year-old software engineer, who came to me complaining of persistent knee pain and lower back stiffness. At first, he assumed this was normal aging or a result of working long hours. A closer look at his daily routine revealed he spent most of the day slumped forward at his desk, occasionally leaning even further to check his laptop. After introducing an ergonomic chair, raising his monitor to eye level, adding lumbar support, and scheduling movement reminders every 30 minutes, his pain gradually decreased. His knees and back felt stronger, and the flare-ups that had once limited his mobility became far less frequent. This position is dangerous precisely because it feels safe. It's common, widespread, and deceptive in its comfort. Yet with awareness and simple adjustments, ergonomic seating, posture reminders, and short movement breaks, its hidden damage can be mitigated. By understanding how this posture silently harms your joints, you gain the power to protect yourself. You can preserve your mobility, reduce inflammation, and reclaim long-term comfort. And as we move to the final position, the one that poses the greatest threat to joint health overnight, it becomes clear that small intentional changes in how you sit can prevent a lifetime of unnecessary pain. Now, we reach the most dangerous sitting position of all, one that many of us may find familiar without realizing its hidden risk. The fetal lean, curling tightly forward on a chair with knees drawn up and chin tucked toward the chest. It's a posture often adopted for comfort, rest, or even a sense of security after a long day. At first, it may feel cozy, almost protective. But what feels safe is in reality highly damaging to your joints. This extreme flexion places enormous pressure on the hips and knees, compresses the spine in ways it is not designed to sustain for extended periods, and restricts circulation to the very joints that need movement to stay healthy. Over time, this seemingly simple habit can quietly accelerate arthritis, creating stiffness, inflammation, and chronic pain that may take years to notice, by which point significant joint damage has often already occurred. The mechanics of this posture explain why it is so harmful. Drawing the knees up to the chest increases compression in the knee joints and forces the hips into extreme flexion, which can strain the cartilage and ligaments. The spine, bent forward for long periods, experiences uneven pressure on the lumbar and thoracic discs, contributing to degeneration over time. Blood flow and synovial fluid circulation, essential for joint nourishment and repair, are restricted when the body is curled tightly. The combination of compression, flexion, and restricted movement makes this posture the single highest risk factor among the positions we've discussed for long-term joint degeneration and early-onset arthritis. Scientific research underscores this risk. A 2022 study published in Arthritis and Rheumatology evaluated adults who frequently adopted curled, fetal-like positions while sitting and found the highest rates of cartilage wear in the knees and hips, alongside increased lumbar disc deterioration. Even moderate daily periods in this posture were associated with early markers of osteoarthritis, confirming that the habit is more than just uncomfortable. It is a silent accelerator of joint disease. For seniors, the consequences can be especially pronounced, as joint resilience diminishes naturally with age. I remember a patient, a 65-year-old retiree who had spent years sitting curled up while reading or watching television. Over time, he began experiencing stiffness in his hips, pain in his knees, and difficulty standing after prolonged sitting. Imaging revealed significant cartilage wear and early osteoarthritis in multiple joints, much of which could be traced back to his habitual fetal sitting. By addressing his posture and introducing small, consistent adjustments, we were able to reduce further deterioration, relieve discomfort, and restore some mobility. His case demonstrates that even deeply ingrained habits can be corrected, and that joint damage can often be slowed with simple, intentional changes. The solution begins with awareness and small corrective actions. A cardiovascular neutral sitting posture, with feet flat on the floor and knees at approximately 90 degrees, keeps the spine naturally aligned and the hips supported. Using an adjustable chair or footrest can help maintain proper posture without forcing discomfort. Incorporating short movement breaks throughout the day, standing, gently stretching, or walking a few steps keeps blood flowing to the joints and prevents prolonged compression. Even minor nightly adjustments, such as avoiding curling up completely in the evening, can make a profound difference in long-term joint health. As we conclude this countdown, the message is clear. Small, consistent changes in how you sit can prevent major joint degeneration over time. Your daily habits, even those that feel harmless, have a direct impact on your long-term mobility, independence, and comfort. Take a moment to reflect. Consider which position you sit in most. Could you make the change tonight? By recognizing the hidden risks and embracing simple, doctor-approved adjustments, you can protect your joints, reduce pain, and preserve your quality of life for years to come.